bastards.
I know, and he's because I thought it was all about no deal, Corbyn. I thought you were against no deal.
I don't
So
think
why
Corbyn is.
so why don't you go in and debate the fucking deal, dickhead?
But yeah, Alex has just said, and I think that'd be beautiful. He wants no deal and a live stream to the reactions of Owen Jones, Chuka Umunna, James O'Brien, and many others. Of course, David Lammy. Gotta be David Lammy. Oh, that'd be beautiful to watch his face.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's obviously a plan going on, and I'm just going to see how it plays out. It's funny you mentioned James O'Brien today. I saw him because you know when Extinction Rebellion got beat up on that train.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Even James O'Brien did a tweet saying, "No, this isn't good enough," but he didn't do the tweet saying this isn't good enough. He said because
He called
just
it the
straight,
lunatic fringe, didn't he?
but yeah, to just straight up criticize him, he couldn't bring himself to do that because that would allow for him being wrong about something. So he framed it like this. He said, "Greeter, Saint Greeter, obviously inspired me to take public transport to work." And it was like, oh, you didn't know about it before, then, did you, dickhead? Before a child with mental issues told you to get a bus, and he said, "This is so disgusting." That you're interrupting like a clean form of whatever and all this. And it's like, you had to just bring the virtue signal in it, didn't you? It's like, oh, these people are bad, but not me because I'm over here with Greta Thunbergs.
I
Fuck off.
What I most enjoyed was not only the fact that that middle class twat actually tried to kick the guy in the face who was trying to get him off the
I
train.
know, yeah.
And people saying it's disgusting that he was roughed up by the crowd. He kicked the guy in the face. Would you? It was in Canning Town. This is not where the summer fields are. This is not where the middle class people belong.
I know.
And that was made clear to them. And the same, one guy said, well, we're not trying to garner support. We're trying to make people notice. Like, dude, you're trying to stop ordinary people going to fucking work.
Yeah.
For these guys, if they don't work, they don't get paid. Their families don't get fed. They don't have trust funds. They don't have disposable income. They don't have savings.
I know.
They have to work.
I saw one of them getting an interview today, and they were basically just saying the same thing they've been saying all along of like, well, I'm here. You're interviewing me, aren't you? It's newsworthy. I get to tell everyone that the world's on fire, and it's like, yeah, but you're only being interviewed at this point because everyone hates you. Like the
Well,
consensus is that everyone hates you.
I'd like to talk about Extinction Rebellion briefly. This is something written by Stuart Baston,
Yeah.
who was one of the original co-founders of Extinction Rebellion. He's been with them since 2018, when 15 of them started it. These are his words. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm here to say that Extinction Rebellion isn't about the climate. Did you hear that? It's not about... This is from one of the co-founders of Extinction Rebellion.
I've read this. I've read this statement actually before.
You see,
yeah.
the climate's breakdown is a symptom of a toxic system that has infected the way we relate to each other as humans and to all life. This was exacerbated when European civilization, in quotes, was spread around the globe through cruelty and violence, especially over the last 600 years of colonialism, although the roots of the infections go much further back. As Europeans spread their toxicity around the world, they brought torture, genocide, carnage and suffering to the ends of the earth. Their cultural myths justified the horrors, such as the idea that indigenous people were animals, and therefore God had given us dominion over them. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Euro-Americans violently imposed and taught dangerous delusions that they used to justify the exploitation and reinforced our dominance. So here's the deal. He then goes in, this is Extinction Rebellion, the world's going to explode.
Yeah.
The delusion of white supremacy centers whiteness. So basically, the delusion of patriarchy, the delusions of Eurocentrism, without which he wouldn't be able to write this for anybody anyway. The delusions of heterosexism, heteronormativity. So here's the deal, guys. If you're white, if you think that heterosexuality is the norm, which, by the way, if you would use the words correctly, it is, because if it wasn't, there wouldn't be any gay people, because you need heterosexual people to create other people. So if you're white, European, or even of European descent, if you're heterosexual and you believe in heteronormativity or whatever the fuck it is now, basically that's what they want to get rid of.
Yeah,
They
of
want
course.
they want communism. They want to
Quite openly.
empower. Why do you think they've not had a pop at China? I mean, the UK isn't even in the top 15 most polluting countries. I don't think we're close.
I know. But well, that's part of the lie they tell, isn't it? Because they go back, they go, well, if you go back to the Industrial Revolution, then add it all up and all that. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, what about now? What about the last 10 years? Look at the data for the last 10 years. Biodiversity is going up in this country. The environment is recovering. Yeah, it was bad. We fucked up. We really fucked up. And we realised in the 90s, but then by 2010, it's cleaning up. And it is.
of course it
But they
is.
won't admit it. They just pick the date that's appropriate. They're like, the government's not doing anything. It's like, well, they are though, aren't they? They're
Well,
doing a lot. So are businesses.
He
So are
does
people.
double down here, though. He says to focus on the climate's breakdown, the symptom, without focusing attention on these toxic delusions, the causes, is a form of denialism. Worse, it's a racist and sexist form of denialism that takes away from the necessary focus of the need for all of us to decolonize ourselves.
Fuck's sake, man. Fuck's sake. I saw someone saying that with chiptune the other day. It needs to be decolonized. It's like, the fuck are you talking about, man?
That doesn't even mean anything.
Of course it doesn't mean anything. And these same people, this is my fucking thing, man. These same people worship the fucking NHS as if it's some social, glorious social thing. But they're hypocrites. They just choose it whenever they want because they're more than happy to rape every country on the planet for their doctors and nurses so we can run our healthcare cheaply. That kind of colonization is absolutely fine. But you talk about climate change, you talk about a carbon, and it's like, no, we need to get rid of white supremacy and all that. And it's like, well, why don't you? And here's the thing: they came head to it today. They came face to face to it with an absolute mob of people going fuck off because there's a reality. Capitalism and the way the world is, and yet even the emissions are the reason why poverty is spiraling down.
Yeah.
Like at a phenomenal rate, faster than anyone thought it would. More people are getting water, more people are getting electricity. India's just exploded. They suddenly have a middle class out of nowhere.
Might well do soon if things carry on going the way they are with Pakistan.
Well, yeah, but but here's the thing though, with this whole fucking lie about Extinction Rebellion, they tell a tiny part of the story. They talk about the emissions and they talk about, oh, well, there's going to be mass starvation and mass poverty. And it's like, yeah, but what we're doing now is stopping starvation and stopping poverty. That's what the system we've got now is actually working slowly, but faster than anyone thought it would be. There's been like 2 billion people added to the planet, and yet the people who were poor has gone down to 1 billion. We're feeding more, even though there's more of us. It's fucking insane.
They don't see this, though, because we know that's not what they want. We read their agenda when they first came on our radar back in 2018, I think. And it was clearly like a fucking communist manifesto. When you looked at the other, was it 15 key points or something like that on that shitty old website they used to have? And that's clearly what it is. It's nothing else. It's just, it's like I see people online today over that Labour MP that quit, and she said it's because of anti-Semitism, which you and I both watched Richie's show, and that all got quite excitable, didn't it?
Did Richie Allen get pulled today for that, by the way?
No.
Right.
His internet just went, and that was that.
Because he had screamed the Jews for like 30th time in the row, and then his stream just went dead, and it was like someone at YouTube just went, nope.
No, it was literally just his internet, but because we were having a bit of a chuckle about that, he texted me afterwards. But I was reading the responses, not the Jew-based responses, but there was other ones like, well, good, because we need a proper socialist MP to take us forwards and redistribute wealth in this country.
Oh yeah, fucking as if there's anything like the concept of redistributing wealth does not exist. You create wealth. You either create wealth or you destroy wealth. If someone has £1 million, taking 500 off to me doesn't give me wealth. Not at all, man. You create wealth by creating value. By you can train me, but even then, man, look. We've now got half of kids going to school, half of people going to school, and yet they couldn't be more fucking stupid. So there's this idea that you just take money off. It's fucking nonsense. You create wealth
Yeah.
just by giving people the fucking freedom to just live and work and people need to find value in themselves, man. It's fucking bullshit. Redistribute fucking well. Don't get me wrong, man. Like socialists have some phenomenal qualities sometimes. If they're really, really caring about like making sure that old folks' homes are run well and things like that. And it's like, yeah, there is, and to the point where the, they are wasting money. They'll overspend and they'll waste money. But you know what?
That's social values, isn't it?
But
More than
yeah,
pure
but as a society, we're like, well, that's all right. We'll run that at a bit of a deficit. These idiots that don't understand how the world works, don't understand basic economics, we'll let them run at a bit of a loss, a little bit of a deficit, so that the old folks have got nice surroundings and they've looked after and they've got, shit like that. And that's good. But if you take that attitude to a fucking government-wide level, it fails every time. Every single time. Phenomenally so. Everyone forgets that with Thatcher getting in. Oh, fucking Thatcher. And it's like, do you not remember what happened before Thatcher? The reason she got in, that people were so scared. She was in for like a decade and a half because they were so terrified of that shit.
And of course, the funny thing was that sowed all the seeds for the discontent. I mean, there's no win. There's just slow improvement.
Yeah.
And, the winter of discontent and all that in the 70s, that's why my old man voted Tory for the first time in his life. Because he didn't want 3-day weeks and, not getting your bins emptied and shit. And Thatcher put something in place where people could prosper for a while. But there were still many, many things that were hugely damaging to poor people that she managed to do as well. And we still suffer from some of those today. You can't find a good balance.
No, well, the only good balance is less interference, man. That's the problem. The problem is Central Planet, be it the Conservative or the Socialist brand. It's that top down. They decide have you seen this thing the Conservatives are doing at the moment? They've just come out with this brand new idea. It's absolutely amazing. Where